Title: Sanitarium Ballet. Part 1: The Silent Serenade. Dr. Amelia Hartman was a woman of poise and intellect with a keen sense of duty. A trained psychologist, she accepted the position at St. Margaret's Asylum with an unwavering resolve, hoping to alleviate the mental afflictions of the inmates in her care. But little did she realize St. Margaret's was not a sanctuary of sanity. It was a labyrinth of enigma, the blackened arteries of its crumbling infrastructure pulsating with echoes of insanity. On her first day, the long, winding corridors of St. Margaret's greeted her like a cryptic metaphor, a series of twisted intestines of an enormous beast, swallowing sanity and regurgitating madness. The marble tiles bore stains of time, cracked and weary, much like the minds that resided within those walls. Each closed door was a secret whisper, an invitation to the unfolding mystery of human madness. The patients were shadows of their past selves, eyes hollow and vacant. They whispered incoherent sonnets to unseen specters, painting invisible frescoes on barren walls, their madness an unsettling symphony in the quietude of the institution. Their minds were fractured mirrors reflecting twisted caricatures of reality. Each fractured shard was a tale of despair, an epitaph to reason. As Amelia made her rounds, she came across patient 46, a man named Walter, crumpled in the corner of his cell, humming an eerie lullaby. The song, she noticed, was not meant for comforting children, but to silence the cacophony of chaos in his mind, a tender serenade to his burgeoning insanity. She noticed the rhythm of the lullaby echoed the erratic heartbeat of the asylum, the melancholic pulse of madness that resonated within its haunted halls. She realized this rhythm was not just a manifestation of Walter's insanity, but an echoing refrain of the collective torment within the asylum walls. It was a silent serenade sung by the asylum itself, a haunting hymn from a choir of broken minds. Amelia endeavored to listen to the unspoken lyrics of this lullaby, deciphering the melody of madness. Each note was a hidden cry, a plea for understanding, and a testament to the human mind's fragility. This was the music of St. Margaret Nurse, a harmony of horror that echoed within the institution, a song spun from the spindles of psychosis. The first day left Amelia with a chilling revelation. To understand madness, one must first learn its language, must first listen to its haunting melody. St. Margaret's was not just a mental institution. It was a monstrous orchestra, each inmate an instrument playing their unique symphony of insanity, each echoing corridor a resonating chamber for their tormented songs. Part 2: The Dance of Shadows and the Unending Siege. Each dawn, as Amelia ventured deeper into the labyrinthine hold of St. Margaret's S, she began to perceive a peculiar ballet enacted within its hallowed halls. Olivia, once a ballerina of considerable fame, danced an eternal ghostly waltz. Her bare feet, eternally twirling, wore paths in the cold stone floor of her cell, painting a macabre masterpiece in crimson trails of her blood. Her dance was not for an audience of mortal spectators, but for the phantoms that inhabited her tortured psyche. In her ceaseless pirouette, she danced with the unseen, an eternal captive of the haunting minuet that spun the shadows of her past into a dizzying whirl of torment. Meanwhile, in another corner of this echoing monument to madness, a different drama unfolded. Jack, a war-torn veteran, was caught in the relentless throes of an unseen conflict. The corners of his cell were not mere angles where walls met. They were foxholes, the front line in a war that only he was condemned to fight. Every night, the fallen soldiers of his memory rose from the depths of darkness to assail him. Jack's war was not waged on the open fields of conflict, but in the scarred trenches of his mind, etched deep into the shadowy corners of his existence. Thus, St. Margaret's lived and breathed in its harrowing rhythm, its pulse mirrored in the twisted dance of Olivia, its echoing heartbeats emulated in the incessant battles of Jack. It was as if the asylum was an ever-spinning top, balanced on the point of reason, perpetually at the brink of toppling into the abyss of madness. Amelia, the observer amidst this panorama of despair, was slowly being drawn into the rhythm of St. Margaret S. She was no longer a distant spectator, but a participant in this dance, a general in this silent war. Her role had transcended from being a healer. She had become an active player in this grand drama of the mind. Each encounter with her patients, every conversation was another step in the dance, another strategy employed in the war. And as she delved deeper into this paradoxical world, she realized that the path to healing might not lie in silencing the music or stopping the war, but in understanding their rhythm, in finding a way to conduct the dance and direct the siege. Part 3: The Nocturne of the Lost. Amelia soon found herself adrift in the chilling melodies of St. Margaret's S, the ghostly waltz and the ceaseless warfare revealing an abyss she had not anticipated. She discovered that the abyss was not merely filled with madness, it was a void filled with echoes of the inmate's past traumas, a relentless storm of agony that sought to consume her. The realization that these melodies were not just signs of madness, but cries of souls lost in the labyrinth of torment sent a shudder down her spine. Olivia's unending ballet, Jack's never-ending war, were not mere symptoms, but personifications of their shattered identities crying out to be acknowledged in the cold, indifferent void of their existence. Confronted by this revelation, Amelia's perspective darkened, painting a gloomier picture onto the canvas of St. Margaret's S. Her task was not to harmonize the dissonance, but to bear witness to the chilling symphony of despair, the nocturne of the lost. Every interaction with Olivia became a spiraling waltz into a vortex of desolation, each pirouette a manifestation of her inner torment. Jack's unseen enemies, now discernible in the trenches of his mind, grew in number and ferocity, each phantom soldier a testament to his escalating internal war. The haunting corridors of St. Margaret's began to close in, the discordant symphony growing louder, more potent. The ballet of despair became more frenzied, the eternal siege more relentless, the labyrinth of madness more intricate and menacing. Amelia's journey into the depths of St. Margaret's revealed a grotesque truth. The asylum was not merely an institution, it was a living, breathing monstrosity, consuming the sanity of those within its grip, regurgitating an endless stream of tortured melodies. The silent serenade continued, louder and more dissonant, echoing through the hallowed halls, a chilling nocturne that reverberated within the heart of St. Margaret S. The asylum stood as a grim testament to the human mind's fragility, its shadowy corridors the eternal stage for the macabre ballet of despair and the ceaseless siege of internal monsters.